Well, everyone, Sawtooth again. Hey, it's a cold day in November, and it's a Monday. Got the first train of the week coming right now. I'm in downtown Mount Orb. We're going to get an eastbound rock train coming with 3 matching locomotives. All 3 of these locomotives are in the red and black paint scheme. This is going to be really awesome seeing that. So I'm down here, Mount Orb, right across from the Brown County Automotive. That's been there for years and years. Been there since I first moved here. I first moved here in '94. So the first train of the week, here we go. Close look at the rail. Close look at the rail before the train comes. A little bit of rust, not much, a little bit. It'll be shined in a minute. Hey, this is going to be an awesome day. Well, I'm going to show you the track improvements in downtown Sardinia, Ohio. They're working on Sardinia Wye. They started bringing that back into operation again. They're working on it right now. After all these years, they started work back on it again. So let's check that out. Here we go. Gates just now activated. The conductor's inside the crossing shanty there on the left. He just activated the gates, and he'll make sure that the train gets a good roll by. Let's see if they see me. Wow, that was cool. 3 matching locomotives. I think it got away from the engineer. I couldn't really tell. When I'm trying to focus this thing in, it's hard to concentrate. This looks like a good one though. Look how many cars are on this. Gates going up. All right, that was pretty awesome. There's the train station and the caboose. Well, I forgot my radio in the truck. That's why you didn't hear the roll by from the conductor on there. I thought I had it in my pocket. I forgot it in the truck. There's that little caboose. That's a shame. 20 years ago, it looked pretty good. All right, let's go get them again. Got the rails all shined up. Look at that. Just takes one train. But wait, there's more, as there always is. I'm on Sicily Road between Mount Orb and Sardinia. And here's the bridge. Let's find a good spot here. Now that the leaves are falling off, you can see it a little bit better. I can hear them coming. I think they're just coming on to the other side of the bridge. There's 2 bridges here. The bigger one goes over the abandoned road, and they're going over that one right now. Look at that, you can see some insulators up there. There's some glass insulators right there. All right, here they come. Cool, look at that. All right, there you go. Had some of those cars with the barcodes on them. That's pretty cool. Yeah, those barcodes, that's old stuff there. If you look that up on Google, they'll tell you that there's no more cars with those on them anymore. I checked it out. It said that they stopped using those, I think it was around 1977, and that there's not any more cars out there with them on. But we just saw some. All right, let's go catch them again. But wait, there's more. I'm in front of the train. I'm at the Sardinia Wye. This is where they work on the locomotives right here. There's a couple of them sitting there. I don't know if these ones are ever going to run again. They had been keeping that one there running by using parts off of that one. Those are GE B36-7s. Now, the Sardinia Wye has two crossings here. There's a crossing down that way. That is the west leg of the Wye. And I'm standing over here at the east leg of the Wye. Right here. See, the track has been removed, but they're going to put that back in. Look at this. Brand new railroad crossing, just installed. Wait for them to go by. Brand new railroad crossing installed. And down at the other end, there's a brand new railroad crossing installed down there too. So it's nice and smooth now. They're reinstalling the Wye so they can turn locomotives again. So here's this part of it. Still got a lot of work to do, but they've been cutting brush back. See that? You can actually see the track now. They'll have to put this section back in, probably put some new ties in. They've also got the brush cut back on the west leg of the Wye over there. Both legs come together over that way just a few hundred feet, and then the track continues on for close to a half a mile before it dead ends. It dead ends just before you get to Route 32, Highway 32. It dead ends back there. All right. Oh, here comes the train already. Just barely had enough time. There's inside the Wye. Brand new ties, all kinds of stuff. Let's find a good spot to get this train. Look at this. Track's gone for the moment. And there's also a new track at that crossing down there. Brand new crossing gates. That used to just be protected with flashing lights. Now they've got gates down there. And those were just put up. I haven't even seen those yet. Let's look at the other end of the crossing. So they're getting ready to hook that together. This is the east leg of the Wye I'm standing at right now. That is going to be so cool to watch trains on this track again, watching locomotives turn around. Hasn't been a train across this crossing here in years, decades. I think it's been since the late 90s. This track used to go all the way to Hillsboro, Ohio. Yeah, it's been since the late 90s that they've used the tracks across the road. Now, a while back they started to work on it. Hold that thought. Here's the new gate. Gates are working. Brand new. That sounds cool. That locomotive, you still see TTI in the front. I saw them in Paris, Kentucky before they got them here. I remember seeing them in Paris. Here they come. There's a half acre that was for sale on the other side of the train. That track right there, the train's on just on the other side. Get on the roll by, he said. For the west leg of the Wye, get on the roll by. Got a flag on the back. That land on the other side of the track, that is for sale. It's a half acre, and it's got access to the road right where the train is right now, the end of the train. It's pending. The sale is pending. I'm not sure what they were asking for it. That would have been kind of cool to have bought that, wouldn't it? There's your brand new crossing gates. And the old Norfolk and Western color position signal that used to sit there to the left, it's gone. It was in the way. All right, there you go. That's the update on that. Let's go catch them again. Live action. Woo! Hey, here's the other side of the Wye. This is the west leg of the Wye. We'll check this out real quick. I'm gonna have to be in a hurry though. This is crossbuck protected. All brand new track right here. And then tying into the older rail. I don't know if I can find any dates on that. My guess is probably 1920s rail. But look how they've cleared all the brush out. See that? That's cool. Some of these homes down here, they're going to get to see trains in their backyard again. They'll see locomotives coming in their backyard, turning around. That will be awesome seeing that. Sure would like to get the first one doing that. That's the fire station over there, Sardinia Fire Department. So the track will be in use just a little bit past where you see all those trees. They'll have to go into that area a little bit because that's where the other track ties in. It ties in, you can see a fence on the right, a privacy fence. Just on this side is where that east leg of the Wye ties in to the west leg of the Wye. So pretty soon there's going to be locomotives running down through there again. That's going to be awesome. One last look. The other crossing over there, it's the east leg of the Wye. There's inside the Wye, you got the house track with the locomotives on it. Here's the west leg of the Wye. And the main line is way back that way behind the railroad ties. All right, let's go. Hey, right down here is where the tracks end. See, there's a railroad crossing where that truck's crossing. The track goes across the road right there, and then it ends up there in those weeds and trees and stuff and all that brush. Here's Route 32 over here. The line used to cross over 32 on a bridge, but they kept having car wrecks here, like they still do, and they were blaming the bridge on all the car wrecks. They were saying the bridge that was right over there was causing car wrecks because people couldn't see. So they tore the bridge out for that reason. It went across right here, right where I'm at, where the sign is, right there. This is where it went across, the bridge went across. Okay, it was torn out because they were blaming it on the car wrecks, saying people couldn't see, but since they took that out, still the same amount of car wrecks. They get car wrecks there all the time. I just heard one there less than 2 weeks ago on my scanner. I listened to them on 151.280 for Brown County Fire and EMS. So there you go. They still get a lot of wrecks there. Let's go out here east and catch a train. Alrighty, I'm in downtown Macon, Ohio right now. There's the water tower, the biggest structure here. And I put my mirror in. I've closed that in so I don't get it hit again. Remember when I was in Hamilton, I was sitting by the road, just waiting for a train and messed around on my cell phone. When I got hit, the truck knocked it off and destroyed it. It sure is nice having that one back. Thanks, Ralph. Really love having that mirror. It makes a huge difference. Train's coming up over the crest right now. Right over here is Cohen. Used to be Cohen. They moved out year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that. So there hasn't been anything on that track going in there in almost a couple years. Here's the main railroad crossing, Route 62 in Macon. And you've got a couple Norfolk and Western color position signal right there on the other side of the road. They bagged them when they first turned them off. Some of the bags have fell off. All right, I'm starting to hear the train coming. They'll be coming from that direction. Got two GP15-1s and an SD40-2. That's 3 of the 5 operable locomotives are on this train. So they'll be coming back from Rock probably tomorrow.
Not as smooth as normal. Yeah, you look good on that roll bar. I had no problems with wheels sticking or anything there. Okay, that's appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know, probably poor train handling from the engineer. Ah! You know how it goes.
All right, there you go. A little bit of railroad radio audio. Let's go catch him again. That was pretty awesome.
I might deal with him tomorrow.
Another rail fan over there just pulled up. All right, I'm in downtown Winchester, Ohio. I'm over here where the Winchester Ag spur ties in. See the track on the right? That's the spur for Win Ag. They haven't been shipping much out of there, but there's some cars on the siding right now, I noticed. They've got a cut of cars inside there. Let's look at the rail. A little bit of rust. It's been a few days since the train went through here, so these rails are going to get shined up. And also a lot of people keep asking about Peavine, and Peavine has not come online yet. They have not shipped anything by rail into Peavine. I would like to get the first train into Peavine if I can. I'm going to try to. That would really be awesome. If I don't, I'll get one of the first ones in there. But so far, nothing has been shipped into Peavine by rail. And I hear the train coming. So let's give them a couple minutes. They should be here. There's a closer look at the switch right by the crossing. You can see some rust, a little bit more rust on the rails for the siding. The outside farthest rail and the second rail from me. That's for Win Ag spur. And if you can see the lettering on that rail, it says Illinois, rolled 1971, 132 pounds per yard. All right, here comes the train. And see this big steel post sticking up here? There used to be a cast iron W on that for whistle post. It's in some of my earlier videos, you can see it. It's gone. I don't know what happened to it. I think someone probably took it. Oh, I wish that was still there. I don't know if there's any more of those W's left like that, those cast iron ones on this line. There might be somewhere. If there are, I'm not going to show where they're at. Here comes the train. And there used to be a house right there on the other side of the tracks, a little white house. That's in a bunch of my videos. There was an older gentleman who used to live there. I remember talking to him a few times. He would watch the trains go by his house all the time. I don't know what happened to him. All right, let's go get him again. But wait, there is more. Here we go. I'm at Mount Zion. Eastbound train at Mount Zion. 2-track crossing. This is where they store cars a lot. Look at this. Old car position signals. Here comes the train. Coming up a little grade here. There's those barcodes. See that? Barcodes on that one. Old school technology. There's another one. Here's one right there. And there we go. Got some tankers stored right there. See that? We're at Mount Zion, Ohio. Just a couple miles or so east of Winchester. That's a long passing siding right there, and it's got a crossover track in the middle. So they can use it the same as several tracks to store cars on. Look at this. Shine. Got it all nice and shiny. Oh, here we go. Tie plate, 1946. Tennessee rail, 1971, rolled in June. Hope that shows up. 132 pounds per yard. And there's the old color position signals. There is a spot I'd like to get them at, east of Seaman. I don't know if I can get there in time. I gotta figure out how to get to that spot. I haven't been there in a long time, so I'm gonna have to hurry up. Let's have a quick look at this though. See there? Old Norfolk and Western color position signals. I remember when those were in use. I saw them on a lot. They used to really help. You could learn where trains are at with those. All right, let's go. Let's go get them again. Coming into Seaman, Ohio. Look at there, there's an ambulance coming back. That's a home transport, one of those private ambulance companies. That wasn't the life squad from here. So I drove through Seaman, and I'm just east of Seaman right now. There's a hawk, look at that. There's a hawk. Train's coming from that way, and I've been wanting to get a train here for a long time. This is a steep grade. Right here is where that tank car derailed years ago. Shortly after I started my channel, I made a video of a tank car that rolled down this way and it derailed on that curve right there. It was sitting on the main line up in Seaman, and apparently some kids were messing with it. It was a brand new one in storage. They did something, they got it rolling, and it rolled all the way down through here and then derailed on that curve. There was a section of rail that was removed just in case something like that would happen, to prevent a car from continuing to roll on and cause a big disaster. So it derailed right where it was supposed to. See my video of the runaway tank car. And here comes the train right now. I'd like to get a train going in the other direction right here. This train right now is going down a really steep grade, but coming up this grade, I'd like to get one coming up. There she goes. Next town, Lawshee. After Lawshee is Peebles. And then the last stop is Plum Run. That's Quarry. Quarry's at Plum Run. The tracks go a few more miles past Plum Run, where they still use them. They use them for car storage past Plum Run. They go all the way to Jaybird Road. If you look that up on Google Maps, you'll see right at Jaybird Road, there's a pile of gravel on the railroad tracks, so the trains can't go past that spot. And I have filmed all the way out there. I filmed them picking up storage cars a couple years ago. Lackawanna Rail, 1977. All right, let's go. So now I'm just a couple miles west of Lawshee, Ohio. There's a helicopter over there making all kinds of racket. I can't see them. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, this is pretty far out in the boonies, so I'm kind of surprised it's so noisy at the moment. Lawshee's up that way, just a couple miles. And we're gonna get the train going over this bridge. I don't have very many videos of trains going over this bridge. Every once in a while I'll get them. You know, maybe a couple times a year, but that's about it. So they should be here anytime. I'm gonna get this one's gonna be in 4K. Okay, here they come. 4K. There she goes. The front of the train will be coming up to Lawshee in just a minute, and I'm going to go to Peebles and get them again. So here we go. We're going to go to downtown Peebles, Ohio. This is where I saw the coyote the last time I was here a few months back. Across the road right here. Coming into Lawshee. Road's kind of in bad shape. Can't go very fast through here. I'm in Peebles right now, downtown Peebles. And this is the railroad siding for McCoy Lumber. There's no cars on the siding right now, as you can tell, but there's some railroad ties that are ready to be shipped out. See, the track is right there. See right there in front of me? It's kind of hard to see. And it goes right up through there, just to the left of the main line. McCoy Lumber. And they're not supposed to go past that piece of metal sticking up, that little metal post sticking up. The track's almost buried. The track actually keeps on going, and it goes next to that building. It crosses the road and goes next to the building on the left-hand side, but it's just completely buried. Dirt's over top of it and grass, but the rails and the track are still there. So I'm on my new camera right now, my newer camera I should say, so I've had this thing for over a year now. And downtown Peebles, Ohio, right across from McCoy Lumber, and we got the train coming right over there. They're gonna pick the conductor up. The conductor just pulled up in that van. So here comes the train. They'll pick him up and then head towards Plum Run to do the switching.
Hello, I see you.
Cool. This ought to be interesting. Get to see the conductor get on the train. It's normally a one-person train. The engineer runs the train, and the conductor has that, see that van right there? Follows the train in that van. Does run-by inspections, does all the switching, coupling, uncoupling, gets the derails, gates, all that stuff. Just easier and more efficient way to do it. I'm zoomed in 7.8 times right here. It's really hard to keep this thing steady when you're zoomed in that far. Eastbound train in Peebles, Ohio. cool. And there's the conductor, just went back there to the back of that third locomotive. All right, we'll see what else happens here. I'm not really sure how they're going to do it. All right, here we go. They made a cut and they're pulling the locomotive. All right, there you go. So they cut the locomotives off and they left the rock cars. There goes the conductor. And they're heading up towards Plum Run. That's cool seeing all that power together like that. 3 matching units. So there's all the cars right there. All right, I'm on Nixon Avenue right now, and I'm facing east, and there's some loads of rock right there. See that? Bunch of rock loads. So they got to get the empties in and pull all these loads out, and probably tomorrow they'll head back the other way westbound with a loaded rock train. So there you go. I got stuff to do and I got to head home. Thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate your support. Check out another video if you can, because every view really helps my channel. Coming to you from somewhere in Peebles, Ohio. We'll see you later. There's Loki. We got the water hose here. Let's see here. It's hard to film and do it at the same time. Whoa, we got that one. Whoa. It's hard to film if y'all do it. Whoa! You an airborne. What a fun dog. You're a fun dog. That's what it is. Check it in.